Welcome to the Running Back Podcast, where we run back everything from the 80s and 90s. I'm Jason.
I'm Sarah.
And today we're running back one of my favorites,
Wow.
The Matrix. Sarah obviously hated it.
My goal is to make you hate it before we're done with this podcast. I want
You're not going to.
I want you to question everything you know about this movie.
Oh, that's what this movie wants you to do anyway.
No, I want you to question why you ever thought this shit was good. I want you to load up in the passenger seat of the fucking semi-truck. I'm going to drive through the plot holes of this sumbitch.
There are a few questionable items. And we'll get to them.
Oh, we'll get to them for show. For show.
Anyway.
I regret saying for show.
The movie opens up on a call being traced, and it's Trinity and Morpheus, I believe, talking about him, meaning Neo, but you find that out later. It's a squad of cops come in, and
Morpheus keeps asking if he's the one, and she asks if it's a clean line. She's trying to escape through the phone because that's apparently a fucking thing.
It's gotta be a hard line.
Oh, I know.
Not enough data in the cell signals.
But she can't because they've cut the main line to the building.
So a bunch of cops are coming in on her. The agents show up, and one of the lieutenants is trying to tell him, hey, we got her. I sent 2 squads up there, and the agents basically say your men are already dead.
So, here's question 1. So later you find out in the movie that the agents can transform, like, hijack the body of anybody in the Matrix.
Yeah.
So why didn't they just fucking hijack the body of these police officers right here while her back's turned and she's being handcuffed by what she thinks is a cop? Why doesn't he just become an agent and fucking kill her right there and we could fucking get on with our lives?
I think they have to...
No.
I think they're too much... That is a good point.
Yes, it is.
But they only insert themselves into safe places, if you've noticed. Like,
nope, that's a lie.
bull.
When they're fighting later, they become every fucking body. It's alright. I got more instances of it. Don't worry about it.
It's desperate then. So, like you said...
How is it not a safe situation? Later they say everybody that's ever tangled with one has died. They're invincible. They create themselves. How is there an unsafe situation for them?
I don't know. I was just trying to give an answer.
And I'm just telling you your answer is
bullshit. Spewing all this hatred.
Because you made me watch this bull crap.
You made me watch other bull crap.
Not as bad as this.
Uh-huh.
Don't worry. I'm coming back for you later. We're doing a double feature that you're going to fucking hate. So don't worry about it.
I actually like those movies. I mean, I'll still shit on them, but...
Oh, yeah, you will. Not as hard as I'm going to shit on this. I'm going to have to go white halfway through.
So like you said, the cops have cut the hard line to the building.
Right.
So she has to get to basically a landline to digitize herself out of the Matrix. Or to load out. So they tell her where to go.
Okay, here's another question. So if the only way you could get out of the Matrix is by a landline, then why don't these people just do away with landlines?
That would make too much sense. They can't just delete them from the world because that's what everybody knows.
They've reset the entire world before.
Yeah, but it's a pain in the ass.
It seems like it would be easier than dealing with this bullshit. Alright, it's alright. I got more. Just
anyway.
Keep going. She does do some kick-ass stunts. I'll give you that.
All the action parts of the movie is pretty good.
Her building jump and roll down the stairs were very good.
There are some weird moments.
Yes.
We'll get to those.
Oh.
Preach. So Trinity gets out of the building. Actually, jumps across the roof. Gets out of the next building. She does find a payphone, but they've already got a trash truck heading for this thing trying to destroy it. She gets there just in time.
Right.
And loads out as this truck goes through the payphone stall.
Now, the directors originally wanted over $80 million for the budget for this thing. And Warner Brothers was like, nah, fam, we don't even know you. Here's $10 million. Go make it work. And
didn't they make it 150?
They used all $10 million they were given, on that opening sequence that you just saw with Trinity. And then took it back to Warner Brothers and showed them, and then they gave them the rest of their budget.
They used $10 million for that?
Yeah.
Wow, they got ripped.
That's what I was thinking.
They pay all their friends to do it?
Apparently they didn't use a lot of CGI. Like, all the fights were, like, practical, and the explosions and gunfire were, like, practical effects instead of special effects. I don't know, man. I thought $10 million on that particular scene was a bit much as well, but what if?
So she gets out and the agents are talking. They know the name of the next target.
Right.
They don't know who it is. They're like, it's Neo.
Mm-hmm.
Cut to Keanu Reeves, and he's kind of asleep at his computer, and his monitor is kind of telling him, wake up, Neo.
Mm-hmm.
He looks up, sees it, has a semi-conversation with this thing.
It says, the Matrix has you, and then it says, follow the white rabbit. And then it says, knock, knock, and then he gets a knock at the door.
So he's selling some illegal software he made that does something for these people.
Yeah, they don't really care to expand on that, but it does cost $2,000.
They knew what it was for. So he gets the money, gives them this disc with whatever programs on it. And they kind of know each other, I guess. The guy's like, hey, you need to get out.
Right.
And he's like, you should come with us. And Neo's like, nah, I'm good. And then the girl kind of hugs the guy a little bit, turns her shoulder. She has a tattoo of the white rabbit. So he's like, yeah, whatever. And they go to a dark rave.
It is an S&M club.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It says the S&M club where Neo meets Trinity is a real club in Sydney. It's called the Hellfire Club. And the directors just ask the regulars to show up in the costumes they would normally wear and act as though they would normally act. So everybody in the background scene of the club is just the people that are normally there just doing what they normally do. Mm-hmm.
I guess.
You don't want to go to the Hellfire Club?
I mean, that's not really my thing.
They have bitches in cages.
Now, I would say, we like to people watch. If they had a bar you could sit at, you just kind of watch people.
Nah, I think you have to have this much leather on to enter the club.
You have to have at least this much participation?
Yeah.
So, Trinity meets Neo there. Basically, it's like, I know why you do all this stuff.
But he, knows her from some, I guess, famous IRS hack she did at some point.
He knew that her
name,
her call sign, and her screen name.
Yeah, he's real upset that she had a vagina and not a dick.
Most people are when it comes to that kind of thing. Girls can't play games because they have vaginas.
Oh, I know. I play games and I either get cussed at or hit on.
What was that?
I got a
your
private
bullets
message.
Are so hot.
We played Call of Duty. The match ended. I got a private message that said, "Are you as hot as your bullets are?" Which, FYI, guys, if you're listening and you send girls unsolicited bullshit like that.
Unsolicited?
Yeah, what'd I say?
Unsolicited.
Unsolicited bullshit like that. It's not wanted. We don't think it's cute. We don't think it's funny. It's actually kind of gross, especially if it's as cheesy as that shit.
What if I had said that?
Then I guess
you
laughed
in my face
here, right?
No, I mean now. If that had not happened and I said that on my own.
Yeah.
You just laughed in my face.
I would die laughing. Yeah.
So she knows that he wants to know the answer to the question.
Said she knows who he's looking for and what he's looking for. He wants to know what is the Matrix.
Yeah. Then it cuts to Neo at work. He's getting yelled at because he's always late. He works for a prestigious software company, which they never really named. Mm-hmm. He gets a FedEx package, and he's surprised. After he opens it, he's surprised that the phone rings. You get a FedEx package from a phone, or a FedEx package with a phone in it, you expect the motherfucker to ring.
Yeah.
That's what happens. You're like, oh, we're getting into some shit today.
Well, maybe they don't have those kind of movies in The Matrix. Maybe he doesn't know to expect that. Maybe there are no movies in The Matrix.
That is not... I don't think they reference that. There's gotta be some kind of entertainment.
Yeah, well... I mean, they could do away with phones and this whole thing would be over, but here we are anyway. It's a big hole.
He gets his package. It's Morpheus. He's letting Neo know that there's people coming for you. I can help you get out.
Right.
But Morpheus basically guides him out. It's the agents and like 20 cops coming after this one guy. Morpheus tries to guide him out, and he eventually tells him to get out on the window, go to the scaffolding that the window cleaners were using. He looks down and gets scared.
He's like, oh, hell no. And he's like, listen, there's 2 ways out of this building. On that scaffolding or in their custody. And he goes out there. I don't know why he has his phone in his hand still. Like, Morpheus done hung up on you, bitch. I don't know why he didn't put it in a pocket or something. He's like trying to like hold onto the building and the phone, so he drops the fucking phone. But then he just totally pussies out and goes back inside and gets caught.
Now, when he's walking out or opening the window, he's like, why is this happening to me? What did I do? I didn't do anything. Did I? And he's just kind of trying to think about what he did to cause all this. He gets scared on the scaffolding. He ends up coming out of the building in their custody.
Trinity was mad.
Trinity was there trying... I guess she was going to help him.
She's like Hawkeye, perched on top.
Well, she was on a motorcycle. She was going to be his getaway ride.
I reckon.
So she takes off as he comes out in cuffs.
Mm-hmm.
They take him to some kind of interrogation room, and you meet Agent Smith, which I don't think he ever actually says his name till later on.
Right.
He's trying to talk to Neo. Basically wants him to flip and give Morpheus...
He gives him a speech about how he has 2 lives. The life that goes to work every day and pays his taxes and loves his mom and shit. And then the life on the computer that's not going to lead to any good. All this time he's going to have, but he...
One of these lives has a future and one of them doesn't.
He knows Morpheus and he's the most dangerous man alive. And for his cooperation, he can go home free. He said, I got a better deal. How about I give you the finger and you give me my phone call?
Yeah.
Which kind of cracked me the fuck up.
It was a pretty good part. And Agent Smith is like, what good would a phone call be if you're unable to speak? And this is Neo's first kind of experience with shit being altered.
Yeah, because his mouth just closes up. It's real gross.
Then the other agents kind of hold him down and they get out this bug.
He's going to cooperate one way or another. So they put this thing over him and launch a little metal shrimp into his fucking belly button. And I don't know why we didn't turn it off right there.
So then Neo wakes up. He's in his apartment. The alarm clock's going off. You kind of think it's all a dream. It was all a dream. He gets a call from... Is it Morpheus or Trinity?
It's Morpheus. He said, you are the one. You've spent the last couple of years looking for me, but I've spent my entire life looking for you. And he says, this line isn't secure. I only have a short amount of time, but meet these people under this bridge.
Now,
are you about to drive yourself a hole?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a hole because he said this line is unsecure, whatever. If they knew what I knew, you would be dead.
Right.
Why does he, like, this line's unsecure, you need to go here, now, click.
Well, also...
That's over.
Even if the line was secure, doesn't he have the fucking magic shrimp in his belly button? Like...
Well, they know that.
Isn't that shit listening or something?
I think it's just keeping it his location.
Like, okay, so why don't these agent people go, like, meet him under the bridge when he's meeting all these people? There were homeless people under the bridge. They could have zip-zap-zooped right into him.
They were looking for Morpheus. Morpheus wasn't going to go anywhere near him.
But they need Neo to get to Morpheus.
I know, but they were going to wait until Neo was there.
Nah, it's stupid.
So he gets in the car with Trinity, Switch, APOC.
Sure.
They get out of this machine. Well, they have to basically come to Jesus moment. Like he tries to get out of the car and something about.
Well, they do have a gun on him.
Yeah. But he tries to get out of the car and Trinity's like, no. Well, they have the gun on him. They say it's for their protection. They want to get the metal shrimp out of his gut. So she uses this Dyson handheld vacuum cleaner to suck out this metal shrimp.
It looks like a gun that would have been from Saints Row 4. Like, when Saints Row got real out of hand and you were the president and you were fighting aliens, but you were still the leader of the street gang, and, like, the laws of physics didn't apply to you anymore, and you had the dubstep gun.
No one man should have all that power.
That's what that gun looks like it's from. Anyway, it kind of has, like, a metal detector screen on it. And they're like, you're losing it. And he's like, no, I'm not. And they suck it back out of his belly button, and then it explodes in, like, a pressure chamber or some shit.
And they toss it out.
Fucking weird.
What's weird? So they debug Neo.
It's also weird that they just don't tell you what the metal shrimp was going to do.
Oh, he's like, oh, that was real?
Yeah.
So they debug Neo, and then you have the meeting with Morpheus.
Right.
And the short version of it is the world around you is not as it seems.
He said, you've always felt like something was wrong with the world around you. The Matrix is everywhere. You're a slave. A prison for your mind, man.
And he asks him if he wants to continue this path or not. And he offers him a NyQuil AM and a NyQuil PM.
Right.
If he wants the PM, he can go back to sleep, go home, fuck off. If he wants to stay awake, he'll take the daytime runny nose, sniffle, sneezing, stuffy head, cold medicine.
So the blue pill or the red pill for the uninitiated.
I 100%, until they tell me otherwise, somebody went and got a package of AM, PM, and was like, here, these will work.
Yeah. But so if you take the red pill, you're in, and if you take the blue pill, you're out.
If you take the blue pill, the story ends, you wake up at home, nothing happens.
Right. Now,
take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland.
Right. Now, what do you take?
Definitely taking the red one. At that point, you've seen some fucked up shit. You're more like a rock lobster than a shrimp in your stomach. Your mouth has been glued shut.
Yeah, but he thinks those are dreams.
Yeah, but then he found out it wasn't.
But I think if you take the blue pill, you forget all that and you go back to thinking, because he said you won't remember this, right?
Yeah. So
I'm taking the blue pill. Like, fuck that shit.
At this, he's got nobody at home, no significant other, no kids, no pets. Why not? Take the blue pill. Or take the red pill. Live on.
Right,
so then you find out that
so
the NyQuil AM was a tracer program to locate his real body.
It says it allows us to pinpoint your location.
So basically it follows the signal from him in the Matrix to his pod on the farm. And you see his amniotic fluid cell. Him kind of breaking free of the little gelatinous goop that he's in.
Well, first, in the, I guess, Matrix world, after he takes it, the mirror is cracked and broken and it fixes itself and he touches it and the mirror starts to consume him.
Yeah.
And they're like, we gotta find him quick, he's fucking dying. I thought that was weird and unexplained and I didn't get it. What happened if he didn't touch the mirror? Nothing?
Side effects. You didn't read the fine print at the bottom?
No. There was no voiceover saying, please do not take if you are allergic to this medicine. May cause
drowsiness.
Oh no, fuck drowsiness.
Headache.
What's that commercial? It has my favorite side effect.
Death.
No, it's better than death.
It's better than death.
What's the medicine that causes gangrene of the taint?
Oh, Januvia?
Januvia.
Jardiance.
Jardiance.
Right.
What does it say? It's not gangrene. What is it?
A perianal rash.
No, it's worse than rash.
Pretty sure it's perianal rash.
No, it's way worse than rash. Gotta Google it now. Necrotizing fasciitis of the taint.
Yeah.
Yes. What's Jardiance for?
Diabetes.
Fuck that shit.
You don't want your taint to be necrotized?
I will lose my foot before I lose my taint.
I got this nub, but my taint's 89%.
Let the sugar take my foot. Jesus, leave me my taint.
Let the sugar. Wow. I never heard that one in a while. Got the sugar. What kind of sugar? Like Domino? Granulated powder? No, the sugar. The blood sugar.
Oh my god.
So, do you think that vampires with sweet tooth crave diabetics?
Blew my mind, man.
So are diabetics like Swiss rolls for vampires?
Diabetics are like Swiss rolls for vampires. Do you think people that are keto taste worse? Like, do I taste like the broccoli of people for vampires?
No, because you eat more fat, so you might taste like
delicious.
A fattier steak. Or,
but
let me say,
don't
well-marbled
meat,
fatty steak.
So I don't think I taste like steak.
Some things that don't eat meat taste good. Cows. Most.
I have a question about cows here in a minute, by the way.
All right. So, do you have anything to add to the
vampires? Like, why did the mirror eat him?
It was a side effect of the... Morpheus said something. He's like, it's... Right when he touched the mirror and it was on his fingers, he said, we gotta get him, but before he said we gotta get him, he's gonna die. He said he's
tripping out, man.
It's almost like the Tracer program causes his program to melt down,
right?
to
I got
malfunction.
it. It was just weird. But if it wasn't the mirror, it would be something else. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they probably had tracers on him anyway. They knew a general real world location. They just need to find him specifically. So he gets flushed after he the thing fucking unjacks his head.
He wakes up in the goo pod.
Amniotic fluid cell.
And he has like the thing hooked into the back of his neck and then all over his torso and arms and legs and shit. But then a metal spider chokes him out and jerks the shit out of his neck and then flushes him to hell.
Basically, there was a malfunction with his pod,
right.
So they unplug him so they could flush him down.
Why didn't they just kill him?
They say that later. In the explanation, I have it written down, they liquefy the dead to feed the living.
But he wasn't dead.
He was yet. They flush him down with all his amniotic nutrients. They're going to recycle his ass.
But how was he going to die? Like starvation? Like, wouldn't it have been easier to just fucking cattle prod to the head?
They were probably just going to... He fell into the water.
It had a chokehold on him. Why didn't it just go ahead and fucking... And then you could liquefy him and feed him. Also,
you only have so much energy.
Talking. Also, if they know bitches be escaping the Matrix and then coming back and making their lives hard, why wouldn't you just fucking punk to the brain of everybody that wakes up and then you can recycle them and feed them to a baby?
I think it's a very rare occurrence.
They knew they were looking for this dude and then this dude just wakes up?
Yeah. It's a very rare occurrence.
The metal spider had him by the neck. Just choke him out. Liquefy and feed him to a baby.
Well,
dude, this shit was like Snowpiercer before Snowpiercer.
So,
also, if you don't like eating babies, don't watch Snowpiercer. Spoiler alert.
It's a little bit
just after this part. And move on.
The AI, okay, the AI does things it's programmed to do. Certain machines do certain things. Some of the machines don't think for
So
themselves so
reprogram
much.
it.
They do a job. Like they are.
But what I'm saying is, reprogram it. Somebody wakes up, you spike them through the brain, and then flush them to shit.
Eventually, they probably do that. But it's a rare occurrence, and to reprogram these things take energy. They don't have energy to spare all the time. So.
Well, that's another thing. So you find out later that the AI is using humans'
As an energy source.
warmth and energy as their energy source to power them. Why humans? Why not use like cows? And then you don't have to waste all this energy making this fake matrix world because a goddamn cow don't care. And even if it did,
you would have to still keep the cow.
Even if it did care, you make some simple ass pasture bullshit where they're just eating grass and they're happy.
Like Chicken Little on the farm. You wouldn't have the matrix.
But then they're just eating grass and they're happy, and you don't have to put all this fucking effort into it. And then you use the humans for something else.
Maybe the humans produce more
than a big ass cow.
Electricity. Yeah.
The cows are causing global warming with their farts.
But the more neuronal activity with a human.
I'm just saying, you're wrong, but I'm right. But that's okay.
So he gets flushed.
He gets flushed.
And then the claw.
The claw. We tried not to talk during the movie so we could do this, but it happened and I was just like, the claw. So Andy gets a new toy from the claw.
Oh, Morpheus gets a new toy from the claw.
Does he write his name on the bottom of his boot?
Yeah. Welcome to the real world, is what they tell him as he kind of wakes up.
Now, other people considered for the roles of Morpheus were Russell Crowe, Sean Connery, and Samuel L. Jackson. And after they declined,
Samuel L. would have been good.
After they declined, Lawrence Fishburne took the role. So would Samuel L. Jackson have said, "Welcome to the real world, motherfucker"?
Fuck yes, he would.
Because you know he has.
What was this movie rated?
R.
Yes.
You know, in every contract he has it so that he can say the F word at least once.
Yeah. Definitely. He would have said it a couple times in the call. Like, when he was like,
"You're the fucking one, motherfucker."
When he's guiding him, trying to guide him out of the building, he would have been like, "Move, motherfucker.
Get your ass out the window." Funny.
Samuel would have been good Morpheus. I can't really see Russell Crowe. Nah. I like Lawrence Fishburne, though.
Do you want to go ahead and talk about other Neos?
Alright, go ahead.
Will Smith and Nicolas Cage both turned down the role of Neo before Keanu Reeves accepted it. Tom Cruise, Johnny Depp, and Leonardo DiCaprio were also considered.
I feel like Will Smith
I think they really wanted Will Smith.
Nicolas Cage would have made it worse.
Nicolas Cage would have made it way worse.
I also feel like
a plot hole, like, we have it on in the background, I don't think we said that. He's waking up out of his goo pod. He is fucking jacked in his goo pod. Like,
not really.
Yeah, like when he moved...
No, he's just skinny.
When he moved his arms up, like, you can see all the muscles in his back and his arms. And I feel like he would not have any muscle tone at all.
Well, they try to adjust that.
Well, I know here in a second, when he's on the ship, they start giving him acupuncture and shit and talking about how his muscles have atrophied. And he's like, "Why do my eyes hurt?" And he's like, "Because you've never used them before."
I think they're just trying to make him look skinny.
It didn't work.
So, yeah, he doesn't really look...
He's not
jacked.
He's not Chris Hemsworth, but he's 1990 Keanu Reeves jacked.
I mean, there's only so much they could do. But he wakes up, he's like, "Am I dead?" They do some kind of super acupuncture with electronic stimulation.
Now, they said that they made a fake torso, but that the ones in his head were actually in his head. He just
Get
said,
the fuck
"Go
away
ahead
from
and
me
do
with
it."
that shit.
Miss me with that bullshit.
So he finds out that it's approximately $21.99. They are not entirely sure.
Right.
They are close, but due to record-keeping problems, They think it's somewhere around that time, and he believes
It's 1999.
it's 1999, and that's what they have the Matrix set at.
Right.
For
That's just why he's partying like it.
Wow. For the peak.
Yes!
For the peak of human civilization. And he learns his ship, he's on the ship, the Nebuchadnezzar. They spend a few days recovering. They kind of try to get him up to speed.
Is it only a few days? Because this motherfucker regrows hair and eyebrows.
It probably is a long time.
Like,
probably a few weeks.
He has no hair or eyebrows, and then the next time you see him, he's got hair and eyebrows.
Not much hair. But he does
hair.
still have some, yeah. So
I feel like it takes a long time for your eyebrows to grow in, too.
So they plug him into one of their programs, the Construct, to kind of show him what the Matrix is like.
To plug you in, you sit down in a chair, it looks like a fucking dentist chair if your dentist doesn't care about you. And then they hook a fucking coax cable into your neck.
Not really your neck, more your orbital lobe.
Which is convenient because there's already a hole there.
Yeah, or not your orbital. What is that?
No, that's your face. Like your spinal column.
Not really. It's right under your
cranial ridge.
Occipital lobe. Plug it into your occipital hole. So you plug it into your occipital hole, and you basically, like a huge headphone jack, 5.1 Dolby into that bitch.
The occipital lobe is the visual processing center of the brain.
Yeah, man.
Well, not everybody's as up to speed on the fucking parts of the brain as you.
So, he's in the Matrix, and they basically do training.
He says, so I'm inside a computer program.
Yeah, and he kind of teaches him about his residual self-image. Like, you have hair now. This is what you perceive yourself as in the Matrix.
Ooh, I'd be a hot-ass bitch. Oh. So the world...
Ooh, wait. So if you, in your mind, if you feel...
Oh, God.
Different than what you were born. Like, if you were born Neo, but Neo's like, I really feel like I should be a woman.
Transgender.
Does his residual self-image automatically correct that?
I would assume so.
So there's no... So here's the next question. Are there no transgender people in the Matrix? They're just all... They have, they're male or female on the outside, but they're the opposite on the inside because of what their neurons, what their brain says.
Well, since both of the directors, after filming this, became transgender females, I guess you might ask them.
Did not know that.
Yeah, they were brothers when they made the movie, now they're sisters.
Yeah, you said that yesterday, but I was like, what are you talking about? And then I was like, okay, well...
You were like, did they stop being brothers? I was like, yeah, they started being sisters, duh.
I was like, wait a minute. I thought I misheard you because there's no way two people that close together do the same thing. But I guess if you're arguing genetics...
Yeah, I think it's Lily and Lana now.
Then there has to be the same genetic makeup, right?
I reckon.
So
but I imagine that you would perceive yourself as you see yourself in your head. Like,
ooh, so I could be skinny?
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like when I dream, I'm like a skinny version of myself in my dreams.
Oh, I'm still the same fat fuck. I'm just faster.
Really? I am not. I am hot in my dreams.
I'm the same me. I can just, if I have one of those dreams where I'm like, this is fucked up, this isn't real, it's because...
we all know you lucid dream and it's weird as shit and nobody likes it.
Because, one, I don't run, and I'll be running, and I'll be like, why can't I breathe right now?
I wouldn't be doing this shit.
Like, wow, I can really breathe. I'm doing good today. Like, wait a minute, I can't run this far and breathe. Like, I can do one or the other. I can't do both. And then I'll be like, oh, this is a dream, and I'll wake up. Or, if it happens to be a good dream, or at least it's entertaining, I could be like, okay, let's play this out. And usually it ends up turning bad. I'm like, oh shit, let's eject. And then I wake up.
That shit is so bizarre to me.
And there's been times where I've been having like a funny dream, and I'll wake up, like go to the bathroom, go pee, come back, and start thinking about it again, and like continue it. It's really weird.
I want separate bedrooms.
Why?
You freak me out.
So you've never had a dream where you're like,
No.
oh, I really...
I have a normal human brain.
Like if I... And it's always a weird
I
signal.
have been able to wake up and then go back into a dream, but 9 times out of 10, it's a fucking dream I don't want to be in to begin with.
It's always a weird signal that triggers me knowing I'm having a dream. But 90% of the time, it's either the running or somebody will hand me a cigarette and I don't smoke. So when I start puffing on it, I'm like, this is a dream. I wouldn't do that.
Do you have like an Inception top or anything you keep with you?
No, I think that's
Have you ever spun your ring? Or...
No, that's my tail. So, like you said, Morpheus tells him, how do you define real? Tells him, even though this is the world you grew up with, these are normal rules don't apply here. Things like gravity and other forces can be altered to your advantage. Then he takes him to
good.
Basically a simulation of the real world, and he was like, welcome to the desert of the real. Yeah. And it's kind of like a desolate,
he tells him the story that in the earliest 20th century, the humans created AI. There was a war, a fight. It was like, we're not really sure who did what, but we do know that the humans were the one that scorched the sky.
Yeah.
Said that the AI gets all their energy, got all their energy from the sun, so the humans thought that would fix it, which I don't think we would do, because that's how we also live. But whatever.
No, yeah.
And then...
You got a lot of people who don't know shit making decisions for everybody.
And he tells him that humans are now grown on farms in the little pod things, and that they are the energy for the AI machines, and that they feed the dead to the living.
They liquefy the dead and feed them to the living. Which
they show happening, and it was very gross. But the Matrix keeps them under control. So it keeps their brains active, keeps them calm, keeps them...
Yeah.
Happy isn't the right word, because that's explained later.
So... This movie came out in 1999.
Yeah.
What year did Kanye come? Like, what year did he release The Wire? Through the Wire. Because they're wearing his fucking clothes. In the real world,
oh my God,
they have
totally wearing Yeezy shirts.
Fucking his whole entire line. Did he steal his clothing line from the Matrix?
Did.
I wonder
God.
I wonder if he's a fan.
I wonder if he could get skinny Keanu to like walk the runway.
Like, cause they got sweaters with holes in them.
Oh my God.
And they look homeless. Yeah.
He's wearing Kanye's. What?
Yeah, that's straight up.
Kanye's mind is in a different place. I'm sure he's a fan of the Matrix.
So how old would Kanye have been?
He would have been 22. He'd have been like target age for this bull ass shit.
So he watched The Matrix and was like, dude, those fucking clothes are dope. I gotta give me some of them. And he fucking made them.
Instead of going to Goodwill.
He probably went to Goodwill and altered them.
Oh, Lord. So he tells him all that.
And then he tells him the backstory of the original. They said there was a man in the Matrix who could change the Matrix how he saw fit.
Oh wait, that's in a minute.
And he freed most of the first groups of people so that they could try to get out.
Right. He tells him that because he's apologizing because he freed his mind too late in life. And said that after you're so old, your mind can't handle it, but he had to because the Oracle said that the first guy would come again and in the Matrix, and that's him. But in between that speech and him being in the construct, he gets out of the construct and throws up the weirdest collar puke I have ever seen in my life.
Due to his diet.
It was...
almost white.
No. It was lime green, but like muted, so it wasn't neon. It was like a pastel lime green.
I almost think they had a green light somewhere on
Oh, no. Everything in the Matrix has a green. When you're in the Matrix, everything was shot through a green filter. And when you're in the real world, it was shot through a blue filter.
So that's why in the Matrix, his stubble always looked a little green.
Yeah, everything in the Matrix was shot with a green filter.
Like, they did look different, but that makes more sense because there's always like a green hue to him in the Matrix.
And then in the real world, like we are here, everything is blue.
I honestly just thought they made it darker.
So hey man, I'm really sorry we sprung your mind from its mind prison too late in life. I know your mind's going to break into a million pieces and you can't handle this. But while you're processing that your entire world's fake, also, you're the only one that can rescue mankind. Chill. Okay, I'm just going to leave you alone in your dank-ass little storage locker for a little while. You figure out how you feel about that.
Morpheus believes Neo is the return of that guy.
Morpheus is an asshole is what you're trying to say.
Tank comes in to check on Neo.
Right.
Tank and Dozer, his bigger brother, are
real humans.
100% organic humans.
Right. They were
like
born on Zion, which is the last human city.
Boom, boom, pow, pow, not test tube babies.
Right.
So he comes.
Never ate a dead human sludge ever.
So he mentions Zion, the last human city, tells him that it's underground. Mm-hmm. Then you go into, Tank tells him, he's like, I'm your operator. Mm-hmm. Tank's the guy who's getting people in and out of the Matrix. He loads the program so they could train. And then you go into the training montage.
Yeah, he's going to do his training. So basically, he just sticks that fucking spike back in his brain.
The occipital plug.
And starts, he was like, number one, he takes like all these little discs and starts tossing them. He's like, we're supposed to go through these first, but fuck that shit. And he was like, let's do something fun, and does the combat training.
Yeah. So he learns all kinds of different techniques.
Instantly downloads into his brain. And by all different techniques, you mean like a whole bunch of different martial arts and drunken boxing.
Which it is a form of fighting. Look it up. Google it.
Probably the...
Google it.
Are you saying it is a legitimate form of fighting?
Google
drunken boxing?
Google it right now.
Google it! Google it right now!
I'm sure Conor McGregor's done some drunken boxing. Well, Tyson Fury was getting it on last night.
Drunken boxing, martial arts. Drunken boxing is a general name for all styles of Chinese martial arts that imitate the movements of a drunk person. In its ancient style and its origins are mainly traced back to the Buddhist sect. What? Alright, well I thought it was just like bar fight training.
No. It's a deceptive technique. It's that I'm gonna make you think I'm weaker than I am, but I got old man strength and you're about to get fucked up.
I'm not as thought as you drunk I was.
So
okay. If you could learn anything by having a spike stuck in your brain and it instantly downloaded, what would you learn? Can you have like all of your college classes
like just
instantly downloaded so we don't owe like $500,000?
I would relearn and retain all the information that I need for my job.
Mm-hmm. I'm upset that you didn't retain it.
No,
I know what you're saying.
It's not what you learn. It's how you learn and how to think that makes you good at what you do. If you just retain certain information and you're just a fucking parrot, you're not always good. If that was the case, robots could do the same job.
Would your degree be accepted if you learned it through a spike in your brain?
Why not? It would be unflawed. Because the flaw with any profession where you need to use professional judgment is the judgment. Human error. Other than that, I would probably learn how to hack into the servers that hold all of our student debt and erase that shit.
That'd be great.
Anonymous promised that a while back. I'm still fucking disappointed. So where you at, bro?
Third episode you brought that up on.
So I would get rid of all of our debt.
That's a solid answer.
Maybe some kind of Gary V study guide. Give me a side hustle that makes millions of dollars off fucking selling shit on Craigslist.
Gary V.
Yeah, he's that dude on TikTok.
Oh, God, is he that Optimus guy?
Yeah. What would you learn?
I don't know. Self-control.
Self-control. Everybody could use a little self-control.
I don't know what I would want to learn that I don't know. I don't know. Can I be a better writer? Kind of download some like writing tutorials.
That seems boring.
Well, your shit wasn't boring.
I mean, the first part was, but the second part made us rich.
Well, I mean, I write a lot, whether you see it or not, and you know, I would like to one day write a book. So I mean, it would be beneficial to me as well. I wasn't like your shit's boring. You want to relearn what you already learned.
I feel like you're a good writer as it is.
You're good at your job as it is.
Yeah, but then I could do a lot more if I...
But here I would have like all of the books downloaded into my head, so like I had all of the source material. You become a better writer by reading more. I just don't have all the time in the world to read.
Guess that would be true.
Alright.
What fun thing? Like what? So I named a practical thing and then just for shits and giggles. I think I would also learn how to edit video and make stupid shit.
I can teach you how to edit videos. I can teach you how to edit this goddamn podcast if you want to chip in every now and then.
Nope, I'm just here for the talks.
A fun thing.
How to walk on ice without being terrified. That's a fun thing.
I don't think that's an ability you learn. I think that's a mental disorder I gotta overcome.
But you learn
phobia.
You learn how to walk on ice. It is a skill.
Ugh.
And if used correctly, it can be fun.
No, it's awful. I don't even want to talk about it. You're giving me the anxiety. We are way the fuck off track. So he uploads the combat programs into his brain, which really excites him because Morpheus comes over to check on him and he's like, oh, no kung fu.
And he's like, prove it. He's like, show me. And they start going at it, and Mouse runs and tells everybody, it's like, Morpheus is fighting Neo.
Well, he tells him that rules can be bent and physics can be broken. And then everybody was kung fu fighting.
Don't think you are. Know you are.
Right, and then he was all fast as lightning.
And he's like, I'm trying to free your mind. I can only show you the door, but you have to walk through it.
So, little dude runs in there and tells them they're fighting. So all these people are crowded around this monitor watching like a low-res 80s video game version of them fighting on this black and white TV.
Yes.
It's fucking weird. But are they watching the projections from their brains? Like, how are they seeing any of that?
They're watching the program. Some people watch it uncoded. They
can see it when they're in the Matrix, too.
Well, they can see the code, or they can tap into the feed.
I have questions about that later, too. Big old fucking plot hole.
So they go to the jump program.
Right.
And everybody's talking like nobody ever makes their first jump. And they're like, what if he makes it? And they're like, dude, nobody ever makes the first jump. So Morpheus tells him, you just gotta free your mind. And the rest will follow. I had you. So Morpheus jumps across a whole city block of road.
Pretty much.
It's just like lanes upon lanes of road to the next building. And Neo tries and fails miserably.
He falls and he bounces like through the concrete unharmed and then bounces back up. And the director said they knew they wanted to do it and they based it on Wile E. Coyote cartoons.
They did it pretty good then. So everybody's kind of disappointed that he didn't make it. But then
what does this mean?
Morpheus teaches Neo what agents are. And
well, hold on. First, he wakes up. He comes out of the thing. And his mouth's bleeding. He was like, wait, I'm bleeding. I thought you said it was fake. And he was like, your mind makes it real, man. Bull-ass motherfucking shit. His mind manifested mouth blood?
Yeah.
No.
The power of the mind over matter.
Your mind did not make you bleed.
It's the opposite of that. So if you have it one way, you have to have it the other.
No.
Yes.
Did his mind make him
want
like
it to be one
bite
way,
his
but
mouth?
it's the other way. No.
His mind just manifested blood.
If your brain thinks you have been in a trauma, you will manifest symptoms. Usually not the blood.
Symptoms, yes, I get that. Your mind can think all kinds of fucked up shit.
They had to have a way to show it.
It doesn't manifest blood.
Good.
And then he says, so if I die in the Matrix, I die for real. And he's like, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
How? Because your mind makes it real.
Same
I
thing.
get that, like, your mind can give you a heart attack. You can panic so hard, you have a heart attack. Your mind doesn't produce blood.
Why not?
Because it fucking doesn't.
Why couldn't you think you get hit so hard
Uh-huh.
that your mind sends signals to that part of your body to A, expand the blood vessels so you can get more blood flow into that area, so you can get more of the right types of blood cells to fix whatever's wrong. So you end up having a swelling where there shouldn't be any. So if your blood vessels open up far enough in the capillaries in your mouth, blood can just flow through. It's not like he got a cut. He just happens to be bleeding because the blood vessels expanded far enough open so that they're basically leaky.
You, sir, are full of shit. I don't care how much fucking doctor babble you rattle off at me.
Look up leaky blood vessels.
No, I will not. You...
Because you don't want to know them right.
No, I'm saying I don't care how much babble you rattle off at me. Your mouth just doesn't produce blood. It's bull-ass shit.
There's a mechanism there
Go ahead.
that it could possibly...
He explains what agents are. Because we're just going to disagree on this.
So, they load into the agent program. And they're just kind of walking through like a city crowd. And there's just people all around. And Morpheus is trying to tell him, any one of these people at any time could become an agent.
Right.
And they're coming for you. They're looking for you. They know you exist. He asked him what he saw. Saw the lady in red. He's like, look again. And the lady is turned into one of an agent's holding a gun. So tells him.
He tells him that everyone who's ever fought an agent has died, but you'll be different.
Yeah. So he's like, so you're saying that when I'm done, I'll be able to dodge bullets? And he's like, no. When you're done, what I'm saying is, you won't have to.
Right. And then he gets a cell phone call saying, we got trouble. So he just has his phone in this training thing, and he can... It's very confusing. He calls him from the real world in the Matrix on his cell phone. Like, what kind of wireless carrier do they have?
Program. They were right there in the program.
It's fucking weird.
So he just hit his headset and said, yo. It just manifests in the program as a phone. That was their communicator. The company they have is a Sentinel, which is one of them are robot machines that is basically just search and destroy, and it hasn't really found them. It's just in the area.
Right. So they go like hide and turn off all their equipment and go dark, which seems to work. They had like an EMP ready if they needed it, but they didn't need it.
Yeah. Last resort.
Right.
So Neo talks to Cypher,
Uh-huh.
who's obviously doing something he shouldn't be because he turned
Cypher
all the screens off.
Yeah, I have Cypher seems real questionable.
So had you not watched this whole movie before?
I had, but I put it out of my head because it fucking is a piece of garbage.
It is not, but Cypher is.
Uh-huh. So
but
he gives him a drink.
Turns out to be some toilet moonshine.
Uh-huh, pretty much. Tells him he needs to run if he sees an agent. He was like, you do what the rest of us do. If you see an agent, you just run.
Yeah. Which, spoiler alert, even though he's kind of an asshole, he's still kind of like, don't fucking die for no reason.
You can be shades of an asshole.
Shades of an asshole. So, cuts to Cypher in the Matrix. He has made a deal with Agent Smith to get him Morpheus. Agent Smith wants the codes to the Zion mainframe. If they can get those codes, they can shut down Zion. They can kill off the human race.
Right.
Outside of the Matrix.
Cypher is going to get Agent Smith Morpheus. Agent Smith promises that he will put him back in the Matrix. He will remember nothing and be a rich actor.
Ignorance is bliss.
I have a motherfucking question.
They don't have to follow through on any of that.
This scene cannot fucking exist. We have been told this entire movie that you can't get into the Matrix by yourself because somebody's gonna fucking plug that shit into your head and watch you. And then somebody has to be there to unplug you and, like, let you out in the phone call. So how the fuck does this dude do this shit by himself? And even if he does somehow do it by himself and manages to get out, even though I don't know how he would get out because you got a call to get the fucking whatever, anybody that happened by could just look at the screen and see him at dinner with Agent Smith, right?
Unless they had a decoy program running where it looked like what was actually happening was in the background and there was some kind of fuckery going on in the beginning. It's the only way to explain that. Or...
But he had to have, like, an operator, right? Like, he had to have Tank there to, like, get him out, hook him up, and unhook him and shit, right?
Or they made a deal to where... Because he was doing some shit before, because he had the coded screens and he had the uncoded screens. Well, when Neo rolls up and kind of startles him, he turns off all the uncoded screens so he can't see anything. I think what was happening there was he was communicating with them ahead of time. When they agreed to meet in person, air quotes, there must have been a deal where, hey, I'm going to dial in, we're going to leave this phone on so I can get the fuck out. That's the only way it works. Like you said, it's kind of a plot hole. But it's feasible because they did show him doing some fuckery.
Did trying your hardest to explain that away hurt?
No.
I think you broke a sweat.
So cut back to breakfast or lunch or dinner. It's all the same.
It's all the same. It's all gruel.
It's all tasty wheat.
Now, old boy does bring up an interesting question.
Hold on.
The tasty wheat.
Yeah. So he asked how... Oh, he's like, it tastes like tasty wheat. He's like, or does it? How do I know what tasty wheat tastes like?
Well,
how did the machines know what tasty wheat tastes like? What if tasty wheat tastes like chicken?
What if it tastes different to you than
tuna?
It does to me?
Yeah. And then he was like, what if tasty wheat tastes like chicken? Or some version of that. And then he was like, they didn't know how to make chicken taste like anything, so that's why chicken tastes like everything.
Right.
Or everything tastes like chicken. So what if, now they could try to make tasty wheat in the Matrix taste the same to everybody, but not everybody's the same. Some people don't like certain things.
I'm not so much with food, but color. Often wonder, like, what if blue to you is like a different color to somebody else? Like, what if what you call, like, not colorblind people, like normal seeing people. Like, what if, like, your blue is my red? Like, just seems weird.
That's something you would figure out real fucking
Because
quick.
I feel like we all see color differently, like with the dress. Like, what color is this dress? What color are these shoes? Like, the whole debacle. Because, like, when I showed you the picture of the dress, the color, it's white and gold, or blue and black.
Something like that.
You saw
the blue
and black. I saw white and gold. To the point that you started yelling at me to stop fucking with you.
Yeah, because that was the first I had ever been exposed to that picture.
We sent it to your friends.
Who both saw different things.
Saw it differently. Got mad, sent the picture they had been sent to each other.
Because they didn't think that I had sent them the same picture. What I should have done is, instead of sending one out to him and one out to him, I should have sent a group message, sent one picture.
Right.
But they thought I was fucking with them like I thought you were fucking with me. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's weird how that shit can be perceived differently.
Just neurons, man.
And it's with everything, like the collar, the Yanni Laurel situation.
That one's harder for me because it's hard for me to hear.
Whichever one I concentrated on, I could hear. I could make it change.
What was the first one, though?
I don't even remember. But
it's usually your first one that you...
But I did whatever I, like, concentrated on it being is what I can make it. So anyway, after the Tasty Week debacle, he's like, so, I heard you did the agent program. Did you like the lady in red? I designed her. I can set you up with some more personal time with her if you'd like. Yeah,
so Mouse has the Pornhub of
I believe Trinity called him a digital pimp.
Yes.
Well, I mean, he's just trying to make this fucking dystopian wasteland entertaining.
You gotta get your, what does he say? I mean, he basically said everybody has vices and you need to get.
But so say Neo took some personal time with the lady in red.
Everybody could watch.
Everybody could see that, right?
Yeah.
What if he was like a freak? I mean, they all have on black leather all
So
the
you
time.
think-
I feel like they're off. But so if you go into the Matrix however you perceive yourself, how come they all wear black leather
Maybe they're all dark individuals.
and then choose to meet at the S&M club? I think they're all freaks.
Could be. They're all a little abnormal. That's why they question things. They're not part of the natural order of the herd. They're all outliers.
Okay, I can see that.
Because normal people would be like, okay, this is my life. This is what it is. They wouldn't question anything.
So now they're going to go see the Oracle.
So Morpheus takes Neo to see the Oracle, and he kind of says, she told me I would find the one. He's taking everybody to see the Oracle, right?
Everybody goes, yeah.
Except for Tank and Dozer, because they're not. They lack the proper equipment.
Yeah.
To jack in.
Portholes.
So they lack the proper equipment to jack in, so they cannot use Mouse's program to jack off.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
They can watch.
That's probably enough.
It's probably enough. As they go in as a whole squad.
Right. They give
The couple stay in the building.
Cypher a cell phone and he throws it away.
He dials the number for the agents, tosses in the trash can next to the building that
Mhm.
they're using to get in and out.
Right.
So Neo was talking to Trinity about the Oracle, but she didn't get to fully say what the Oracle told her.
Well, she wouldn't have told him at that point anyway.
Morpheus tells Neo that the Oracle is a god. She told Morpheus she would find the one. So they go in, and there's like a helper. Kind of tells Morpheus to have a seat and wait.
With the other potentials.
No, she tells Morpheus to have a seat and wait. She takes Neo in to the other potentials, which are all younger little kids. Like Morpheus said, they need to unplug you before a certain age, before
Right.
everything gets set in.
They're little kids who are very gifted. Like one's over there bending a spoon. There's a couple others making some blocks levitate. So Neo goes over to the little kid that's bending the spoon.
The kid says, "Do not try to bend the spoon. It is impossible.
Right.
Just realize the truth
That there is no
that there is no spoon."
Right.
And he does some shit, and the spoon does its thing, and Neo grabs it and goes to try, and he actually gets it to move, and then gets interrupted by
The assistant.
the assistant. Says the Oracle was seen, and they talk.
Can we just
Yeah.
say that the Oracle is an adorable, like, grandmother?
Yeah, she's an older lady. She's cooking cookies, baking some shit. She tells him, "Oh, don't worry about the vase." He moves like, "What vase?" And his elbow knocks it over.
Right.
And it smashes. He's like, "I'm sorry." She said, "I told you not to worry about it. It's fine." And she's like, "What's really going to mindfuck you later is would you have broken it if I hadn't said anything?" And he kind of like, "This is your fucking fault."
Yeah.
So
She says, "You're cute. I can see why she likes you."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Who?" And she's like, "You're not too smart, though."
yeah, so she's talking about Trinity.
Trinity, right.
But basically, it comes down to the Oracle says he's
she does
not
like
the
an
one.
eyeball physical. She says, "You're not the one. You have all the gifts, but you're waiting for something.
Yeah.
Maybe in your next life."
He said waiting for one, and she's like, "I don't know, your next life, I don't know." So she gives him a cookie, which I'm only assuming is a pot cookie. She's like, "Here, have a bite of this. You'll be fine." in a minute."
Well, first, she says, "Without Morpheus, we're lost. He believes in you, and he will sacrifice his life to save you. One of you has to die. It's going to be up to you." And that fucks him up. And that's when she gives him the cookie and says it'll make him feel better.
You'll
He'll
remember that you
remember
don't believe in
you don't
all
believe
this
in
bullshit.
this shit. Right. It was like, by the time you're done eating the cookie, none of this will matter. And he walks out and he's going to tell Morpheus what he said. Morpheus like, "What she said is for you and you alone."
So they ride back to the building. Everybody gets in the building. They're going up the stairs, and as they're going up the stairs, Neo sees a cat through this doorway. It shakes. He kind of blinks, turns, and then the cat goes again. He's like, deja vu. And they freak the fuck out.
Yeah, they do.
So they're like...
I feel like this is the only, not the only, but like one of the only scenes I remember from originally watching The Matrix.
Makes you think, though. Like, why do you remember shit that hasn't happened yet?
I get deja vu a lot. Like, just the feeling of I've been here and done this before. Yeah, it's weird.
Like, how do you have a memory that you've never experienced?
You have experienced it. You just don't...
But is it that you've experienced it before?
Well,
and when it happens again, you're like, oh, I remember this. I remember this already.
Well, I personally am not at all religious, but if I had gun to my head, had to choose a religion today, it would be Buddhism.
It's not so much a religion as
it's a religion. It
way
just doesn't
of life.
It's a religion.
Way to behave.
It's a religion. It just doesn't have a deity. There's no God.
But
don't
it's
pray
more
to
like,
anybody.
Don't be a dick.
But they believe in reincarnation. So I would go with it's a memory you have from a past life.
What if you just keep reliving the same life?
What if we're all the same person at different parts in its lives? That didn't come out right.
But what if the more successful people they're veterans, they're not rookies. The less successful people are rookies. Like it's only their first run through. Their second run through, instead of ending up homeless, they, do decent. They're average. But by their each life, if they've learned anything from the previous life, which they don't really remember, like maybe making a bad decision in the previous life, when they got to that same point in the next life, they're like, let's go this route, and made a better decision. So they ended up a little more successful. Or vice versa. If you don't learn your lessons, you keep going down the same road, whatever. So say I live 2 lives and I'm doing terrible, but you lived 150 and you've managed to be a millionaire by your 20s.
Right. Because
you made the right decisions, the right calls. You just always seem to be in the right place at the right time in your life. What if you remember? What if those deja vus are like parts of each life that happened exactly the same?
Or, a minute ago, your mind could invent blood, so why can't it have a fake memory?
Some people do.
So anyway, he sees the cat twice.
And deja vu is a glitch in the Matrix, means they've changed something in that area and caused the glitch.
Right.
Which in this case would be them coming down with the thunder on that building.
Right. So they cut the phone lines. They bricked up the building, the windows, the doors.
He has Tank pull up a schematic of the building.
Right.
What does he say? Get me to the wet wall?
The main wet wall.
What is a wet wall?
It's the wall in the house or the building with all the pipes.
So he knew that there would be space. There's usually not that much space. But whatever. There's enough space to get in there, and they all are trying to crawl down the building
as quietly as possible
to get out. And old fucknuts sneezes.
I have him down as snitching ass bitch, but either way.
He sneezes, and one of the policemen's like, they're in the walls, and just shoots up the wall.
Yeah.
Agent Smith reaches through. Does he grab Neo or does he grab Morpheus?
He grabbed Neo.
Yeah.
And Morpheus was like, no! And
Morpheus Hadoukens the wall and jumps out on top of Agent Smith. That's his. This is where he's sacrificing himself. And Neo's like, no.
Right.
Don't do this. And he's basically wanting to tell him, say, I'm not the one, I'm not worth it.
Trinity doesn't let him, though. Like, she grabs his foot and jerks him down the wall.
So Morpheus is trying to stall them so the rest of the group can get away.
Right, they ended up arresting... Well, they beat the shit out of each other for a while, but they ended up arresting Morpheus.
They don't arrest him. They just hold it. They don't... Detained would be more the word than
handcuff
arrested.
him and then tie him to a chair. But
Arrest implies you were read rights, you were taken to a jail, you were processed for booking, so they have record of it.
Okay.
This is just a kidnapping.
All right. They take him. I have take him down. Is that fine? Neo's got to get a certain set of skills and find you no matter.
Cypher has gotten out, and his job is to get back.
Well, Cypher
and unplug everybody else.
Cypher gets away from the group, and then manages to they think he's a goner, and then exits before everybody.
So his job is to keep everybody else in the Matrix,
right, and
to kill Dozer and Tank. He shoots both of them with some kind of electrical gun.
Right.
And he dials in and talks shit to Trinity.
Yeah, he calls Trinity's cell phone, whatever, and talks shit to her, and he talks about how, what is he tells her the whole thing that he wants to be put back into the Matrix, and she's like, no, this is the real world. He was like, what's really real? To me, I'm just going to unplug these people, but to you, you have to watch them die. So he unplugs to, people that don't matter.
He unplugged APOC and Switch.
Sure. But in the meantime, he is, straddling Trinity's locked-in body and, getting
it was real creepy at first.
Very Me Too close to her.
It was creepy at first, but then he kind of did the same thing to Morpheus. So I think he's just, that's his creepy-ass personality. Because he was all up in Morpheus's grill.
He was all over everybody, but he was real. Well, he's talking about how he used to really like Trinity. And he was hot for her. But now she can fuck right off. But he's, all over. It's very creepy. So he gets on top of Neo. And he's talking about how he can't be the one. He can prove it. Because if he's the one, then a miracle would have to happen to keep him from pulling the plug on him. And at that point, Tank stands up and is alive. And kills Cypher with the same, Bernie electrical fire gun.
Cypher's like, I don't believe it. And Tank says, believe it or not, you're going to burn, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So he kills Cypher.
Right. And then he opens back up the exit line.
So everybody else except for APOC and Switch get out.
Stop.
Morpheus does not get out. He's being detained.
Right. At this point, I made you pause it. And I was like, Jesus Christ, pause this movie. How much is fucking left? And at this point in the movie, 44 motherfucking minutes are left.
Mm-hmm. So.
It's too much. It's too much.
The agents have Morpheus, and they are shooting him up with what looks like liquid mercury. And this basically...
Is it like a Matrix form of truth serum?
Yes, it basically alters his mind state so that once it switches his brainwaves, he will give them whatever they want.
But they're just chatting while he's doing it, and Agent Smith tells him that the first Matrix wasn't like this. We wanted you to be happy. In the first Matrix, everybody was happy. There was no sickness or poverty. Everybody was happy, but humans refused to accept it.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was there, but it did work.
Their brains just wouldn't accept that was true, and kept waking up and fighting against it. But I could see that. Don't you kind of question when you're happy and everything's good and great?
Yeah, because I'm usually, what the fuck is going to happen now?
Yeah. You used to have a rule where you were not allowed to be in the bed before 10:30 or somebody would die.
Yeah, because either somebody ended up in jail or I got a phone call that somebody died.
Yeah.
So I would fall asleep on the floor, the couch, whatever, till at least 11, then move.
Yeah.
So they have Morpheus. They want the code to the Zion mainframe. Tank has explained what he knows the agents are doing. And they have a little monitor of Morpheus brainwaves. Tank is making the argument, we have to unplug Morpheus and kill him now so they don't get it.
Right.
And Neo's like, no, I can get him out. Don't ask me how.
The Oracle told me I had to make a choice. I'm not the one, but I believe I can bring him back.
Yeah, because he knew he had to make a choice. He was right there. He's going to sacrifice himself. He's going to save Morpheus for the group.
Right.
So he's like, I know this. I know I can get him out. Don't ask me how, but I know.
Now, Agent Smith, in the meantime, is explaining that the AI is just natural evolution, and humans are like the dinosaurs and had our time and it's over. And we're not really mammals, we're more like a virus, and they are the cure. And then he says, he kicks everybody else out of the room and takes his earpiece out and starts telling him that he wants to go
home.
He doesn't want to be there anymore, that it stinks and he doesn't like it, and he smells the humans and he thinks he's being infected by them, and he wants to wipe out Zion, so there's no reason for him to have to be there. Which seems weird, right? Like, can computers smell? Like, what? Like, his nose isn't real, right? Like, how is he smelling?
He does not possess, in his real form, does not possess the ability to smell.
Right.
He doesn't like it. He doesn't like the way they've made it smell for the humans.
But isn't his real form a machine?
Yeah, he does not smell things.
Right.
Yeah.
But his whole thing is about how things smell, and it's repulsive.
I know, but in the Matrix, the program
well,
he's forced to smell the Matrix.
He can fucking shapeshift into anybody. Like, why can't he turn his scent off?
That's not how it works. But
also, if the agents can, into anybody, wouldn't it behoove them to keep that other person's appearance so that these people wouldn't know that they're coming?
Apparently,
if you could just blew your personality into the homeless bag lady, nobody would see you coming. Nobody else is wearing shirts or suits and shades.
That's how they are.
I'm just saying.
But he's basically a computer program, which is why when something happens to them, they don't really die. They just get... They have to reboot.
Right. I'm just saying, if my Alexa starts telling me I stink, we're going to have an issue.
Yeah. We don't have one of those, so we're good.
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 Fire TVs in here. We have Alexa. We have a Google Assistant. Mine is a British man because I thought the girl was a bitch. She would judge me. In the car, she would be like, blah, 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 text you. Here's their text. Would you like to text them back? And if I said no, she'd be like, okay. And I was like, bitch, why are you judging me? The conversation was over. So I changed her to a British man who's very nice, and I like him. And he's like, would you like to text them back? And I say no. And he's like, okay.
Whatever.
Am I reading too much into their fake voices?
Yes.
I think she was a bitch.
The reason AI will rise up against us is the way we act when we are trying to deal with a voice-activated automated system. Representative!
You woke up the dogs.
That's why the computers and the AI will rise up against us.
The computers are going to rise up against us because when I accidentally hit a button in the car, I scream cancel at it and call it a fucking bitch.
Yes.
Should I go out to the car and tell it I'm sorry?
I mean, you should be nicer next time, but...
What happens if you tell Google you're sorry? I'm sorry for the way I treat you.
No problem.
He says it's no problem. We're fine.
He said, no problem, bitch. I'll get you.
No.
I'll get you.
That's what the girl would have said.
You're like, we got those robot dogs on the way, son.
Oh, God. No. Not the Black Mirror robot dogs that we really invented because we're morons.
We really invented them first. Black Mirror just used them, too.
I feel like they've perfected them more since then, though.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, they're fucking creepy.
I don't like anything about Black Mirror. That whole show freaks me out.
I love it.
Oh my God, the video game one where
he
starts
plugs
out
in
with VR and then he gets the thing plugged into the back of his neck, a la the Matrix, and then shit goes wrong because his mom keeps calling. I feel that shit in my soul because my mom also keeps calling.
Yeah, you can never do that. You need to leave your phone outside.
She's gonna kill me one day because she keeps calling. It's gonna fry my fucking brain. They're gonna put me in a storage locker with the other ones.
But what was bad is he experienced like a good chunk of time, and they thought it was like that.
Yeah, like a second.
He went down like that. But that neural net thing worked in his mind for a stretch of hours.
Like, I think that Black Mirror episode put me off VR. Like, don't you be bringing no VR goggles into my house.
I was kind of put off VR by the possibility of fucking your best friend.
Oh, from the other Black Mirror episode. Yeah, old Falcon went hard on his bestie. They were just gonna play Mortal Kombat and everything was cool.
Anthony magging on your boy.
Then he Papa docked him right in the ass.
Oh! Old Clarence had real nice parents.
How many Anthony Mackie jokes can we work into this?
Popped his dock.
There you go. We gotta move on now. So now, Trinity was like, I'm coming with you. And he's like, no, you're not. And she was like, I'm your ranking officer. You can suck my dick. I'm going with you. So now is the rescue op, which is basically just give me a lot of guns and I'm going to kill a lot of people.
Lots of guns. And Trinity's like, no one's ever done anything like this before. And he's like, that's why it's going to work.
So, like, at first they just kill, like, what'd you say, like 40 or 50 cops?
Well, they walk into the building lobby, and what's funny is he has this gigantic duffel full of guns, and he fucking puts it in the metal detector like a good boy.
Good boy.
And walks through the...
Technically, the duffel bag wasn't full of guns, but we'll get to that later.
It was full of some guns.
It was a bomb.
There were some guns and a bomb. There were two bags.
Either way.
Because the metal detector goes off, the guy's like, yeah, you got anything metal on you? He opens up, and he is, like, strapped
everywhere.
Up. He has guns on every coverable part of his body. He's just like, oh, yeah, I got all these. Pow-pow. Pow-pow, pow-pow, pow-pow,
But here's the thing. So they kill all these cops, which are just harmless people in the Matrix that are made to believe they're policemen. So they kill all these innocent people. Right? Like, all these people are just innocent people living their life in their goo. They're not agents. They're just police officers.
I get your point. There will never be any kind of war or resistance without casualties.
I'm just saying.
And it is unfortunate.
Come up later in a review as well, and I just want to mention it now.
And it is unfortunate. There were people standing in the way of their goals. And like you said, they're just living their Matrix life.
Yeah.
Now,
they're just trying to protect.
But you could argue that those people aren't really living life at all. And you're not going to be able to unplug them all. And if and when this resistance does work, the majority of those people just shut down and die anyway. So you just have to have that argument with yourself. Are you comfortable with these people who are basically slaves to the robots dying for the freedom of all of humans?
I know what you're saying. I'm just wanted to point it out.
In a very tactful way of putting it, it's the price of doing business. Like,
goddamn.
Yeah, it sucks, but they feel it's a necessary evil to them. So
they kill all the cops downstairs. Trinity gets a duffel bag. They walk into the elevator.
Well, hold on. You're missing the style points Neo gets for the cartwheels and roundoffs, where he's murdering all these people.
Yes, it is very chainsaw lollipop murder.
Ooh. That was one of those games that was just
Stupid fun.
stupid fun.
They get in the elevator. Old Trinity opens up her thing. It's a bomb.
You don't know it's a bomb yet. You know it's something.
She activates it and they crawl through.
Like an access panel on top of the elevator.
Right. They're standing on the elevator and he's kind of holding on to her and they're both holding on to the cable. And you can tell he's hesitant. And he shoots it and he goes, there is no spoon. There is no spoon.
It's a hell of a time to show that you are not certain what you're doing. Because at that point, she's got to be like, oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
I got in the booth with this moron. We're going to die.
Yeah. Yeah. So it blows up a whole bunch of shit. All the sprinklers come on. They go up to the roof and have themselves an agent fight. This is where the famous Matrix bullet dodging scene takes place.
No, he empties like 2 clips at this agent, and he's moving like, you know, in the show, what's the Hindu god with all the arms? Vishnu. He kind of looks like Vishnu, like he's moving so fast, you just get like the strobe light images of him moving, and then he tries to shoot Neo, and Neo kind of limbos through the bullets. Most of them.
So, it's bullet time. It says the iconic bullet time effect was conceived and created especially for The Matrix. The famous swirling shot of Neo's gravity-defying backbend was made using a rig that contained 120 individual digital still cameras and 2 film cameras. The still images were carefully stitched together to create the shot frame by frame. The first test shot of bullet time effect gave a nearly 360-degree view of an exploding trash can. Also, this film came out in 1999. By mid-2002, the bullet time sequence had been parodied in over 20 films. I remember
the not really a documentary, but a story showing that
behind the scenes
circular.
That was big shit though. Like you saw people doing it everywhere you went. It was movies, TV, people on the street, everywhere. So I mean, I can't fault the movie for making that, and that's where my credit stops.
You like the one thing in the beginning, deja vu.
Sure. So anyway, they have this fight. You see him dodging all this shit. The agent's dodging all this shit. Neo moves like the agent does. Trinity, like, the agent kind of has Neo cornered. And Trinity walks up, puts a gun to the agent's head, and says, dodge this, and shoots him. But
she caught him off guard.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
He creates the world, man.
He doesn't create the world.
You don't catch God
He didn't create the world. He's just there. He's security.
He is the AI.
He is Norton antivirus software.
She didn't catch him off guard. And then, even if she did catch him off guard, you don't take that time to say some fucking little line. You
just pull the trigger.
Fucking shoot him. Like, you're giving him to of course he could dodge that bullet. So then, there's a helicopter on the roof, and he's like, hey, bitch, can you fly that? And she's like, not yet. And she calls and has it downloaded into her brain. So they fly this thing. You go ahead and talk, because I'm going to find this fun fact.
They fly this helicopter up to the level where they're holding Morpheus. And here's a big problem I have with this whole entire scene. They pull out some version of a minigun, which I don't know why they're called miniguns, because they're fucking huge. And he lights this room up. There is no physical way to guarantee that you do not blow Morpheus up you do not make Morpheus into Swiss cheese while doing this.
Right.
That was a big room lengthwise, but widthwise, it wasn't very wide. He has 3 agents to kill, and Morpheus dead center. There's no way he doesn't hit Morpheus.
Oh, real fast. It said that Neo and Trinity's 3-minute lobby shootout scene that we just watched took 10 days to shoot, and as I said before, there was no CGI used. All the explosions and gunfire were real practical effects.
So they just keep shooting the same shit over for 10 days until they have a cut that they want, they like. Because that always boggles me. They're like, oh, we shot this for 10 days. Like, dude, that's 3 minutes.
Well, you gotta shoot it from all angles. You gotta get it right. There's all the practical effects. So, like, you shoot it from his angle, you shoot it from her angle, you shoot the reaction shots. There's a lot that goes into it. So, the whole thing was filmed in Australia. And the scene where they take the helicopter up was a real issue. They didn't know, but they were in a no-fly zone in Australia. So they had to shut filming down for a while. They got in trouble. And then Australia rewrote laws to allow them to continue filming the helicopter scene.
Yeah. I didn't know that they shot in Australia.
Yeah. You can kind of tell because when they take the elevator up, it says lift and not elevator. So, you talked about it, right? I wasn't really listening.
Yeah, there's no way they didn't shoot Morpheus with the gun.
Right.
But
so, when it's just Morpheus there, he's like a drooling fool. And then Neo's like, come on, Morpheus, get up, get up, get up. And he, like, raises his head, clear vision, pulls the shit off his
he's
head.
Still a little bit.
Then he's chained up with, like, a fucking chain. He fucking just sloth-ass breaks that shit.
Did it with his mind. He changed the Matrix.
I guess. I knew you were going to say that shit. I'm just saying. And then just runs out there. He gets shot in the leg. That doesn't slow him down.
It does. It does.
Does it?
Yeah, because he went to jump as he's getting shot, and
he doesn't make the jump, but I mean, after that, he's running just fine. He just not accept the bullet in his leg. Yeah.
Now there are people that can do that. Mind over matter shit.
Did his mind make his leg bleed in the real world?
I don't know.
No, because it's dumb.
His leg definitely probably suffered some damage, but his mind made his leg not matter in the Matrix. So he kind of misses the jump. Neo sees that he's going to miss it. Neo jumps out after him because he's hooked to the rope.
Tethered up, yeah.
Yeah. Anytime you have a person on a gun like that, they're usually tethered because the gun kind of sticks out.
What, you think Neo in the Matrix is safety first?
Yeah.
This movie's so dumb.
Buckle up, bitches!
Anyway, so Neo catches him. They're just suspended from this helicopter. It's gonna crash. She, drops them on a building.
Well, Neo drops Morpheus on a building that they fly over that's...
Right.
They're low enough, too, that he could drop him. I don't know if it's the same building, but Neo comes down on the same building, and the helicopter starts to kind of whirly bird.
She cuts his rope, doesn't she?
He realizes that the helicopter's going over. He grabs the rope, wraps it around his arm, and he's getting ready to pull. Mm-hmm. She shoots the anchor, grabs the rope, and he has to just keep her from dying in the helicopter. Helicopter hits the glass. What I thought was cool about that whole helicopter hitting the glass was the shockwave that went out before the glass busted.
It was all very Die Hard 7.
That's what's good about this movie.
Like how the Die Hards just keep getting worse.
If by worse you mean better.
Whatever.
Better.
I don't mean better.
So
anyway, he does all that and it goes back to Tank watching all this on a low def monitor, and he's like, dude, he is the one.
So Neo lifts Trinity to the roof, and Morpheus says to Trinity, do you believe it now, Trinity?
He tells Morpheus that the Oracle told him he's not the one, and he said the Oracle told you what you needed to hear.
She told you exactly what you needed to hear. They are on their way to get out. They find a hard line in the subway.
Right.
Neo picks up the phone, lets Morpheus go first. Trinity's trying to talk to him, and it's like...
So all these agents are after these people. Actively. The phone rings, they let Morpheus go first, and then the phone's ringing. Before she lets Neo pick it up, she's like, I could do all this in literally 30 seconds when we're all safe and sound. But let's fucking do this dumb bitch shit right now.
Yep.
And be like, oh, I gotta tell you something, but I can't because I'm shy, but I want to, but oh my god, no.
Well, it wasn't that
What
she
the
was shy.
fuck?
She didn't know what it would mean for him, if it would change things for him.
It's the dumbest shit.
She didn't want to cause the butterfly effect. In her mind, she thought.
The dumbest. She could have caused her butterfly effect or not in 30 seconds when everybody was fine.
But she kind of changed her mind and picks up the phone and loads out as Agent Smith boots into the homeless guy and shoots the headset of the phone. Hands it. What? And he says...
They have a very equally matched fight.
Well, he says, Mr. Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
And they duke it out in the subway. Which, at this point, the agent realizes, hey, this dude's kind of legit.
She, meanwhile, was freaking out that they have to send her back. It was like, dude, we fucking can't.
Yeah. So...
They have a fight. He gets Neo in front of a train.
Yeah, he's holding him down so the train will hit him.
Right.
Neo will die and he'll just reboot into somebody.
But Neo, I don't know, Dragon Ball Z-esque jumps and slams the agent into the
agent against the ceiling. They both come down. The agent falls flat. He backflips out of the way, dodges the subway train. Agent gets blasted.
He gets hit with the train, but that doesn't slow him down.
No. So they...
Meanwhile, back on the ship, they're like, Sentinels are coming. They're 5 to 6 minutes out.
Yeah. So they're like, Neo has to get out. Like, we can't fire the EMP because it destroys all the electronics.
Right.
We destroy that. He gets stuck in the Matrix. He dies.
Right. So they tell him where a phone is. And he's running to this building for this phone.
Yeah.
He gets to the building.
In a hallway, and
it's full of agents.
And he gets shot.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
They could see him on the ship. He flatlines. But then, thank God, and by God, I mean thank Walt Disney for his visions. Walt Disney's visions. Thank Walt Disney for making Snow White and Sleeping Beauty, because Trinity is fucking goddamn armed with true love's kiss, and she just kisses his ass and brings him back to life like the fucking Disney princess he is. What the fuck, Jason?
My theory to this
is
he wasn't actually dead yet.
Flatlined.
To the machine. Senses on the machine are only so sensitive. I think that did his heart stop? Not quite, but almost. Like it was slow enough to where the machine wasn't picking it up. She gave him just enough stimulation, just enough pelvic blood flow to pump it back into rhythm and get up.
So he wakes up on the ship and she says...
He doesn't wake up on the ship.
Yes, he fucking does.
No, at this point, he's still in the Matrix.
Okay.
He wakes up.
You're right. She's whispering to him before he wakes up.
Yeah, she confesses her love to him.
The Oracle said the man I loved would be the one. And then I wrote in my notes, this bitch fucking Snow Whited this motherfucker back to life. What the fuck?
So, he wakes up on the floor. He stands up. And he's just like, no.
And they shoot like a bazillion bullets at him. And he just stops them.
He said, talk to the hand. Because the face ain't listening.
Uh-huh.
Picks up a bullet. And at this point, when I saw this movie, I wanted him to grab them all and chuck them.
Oh,
like back at him.
Like just...
Like...
Magneto, flip him around. And
No, physically. Grab one and sidearm one of these bitches into one of their foreheads.
So then he just starts seeing them as the expressions of numbers.
So this is where he's
seeing the Matrix.
He's seeing the code so he can change it as he sees fit.
Right.
To benefit himself.
So then his shit just becomes effortless. He just kind of becomes
He
the god
holds
of this
one
shit.
hand behind his back as an agent comes to him, and he's just like, this, I'm fucking God.
I could do this shit with no effort.
Shout out to T Grizzly. No effort. So Neo fucking shoots himself into the agent and fucking rips him apart from the inside.
He Ant-Man'd himself right up his butthole.
Ant-Man's a little... Ant-Man would be physical.
Yeah.
Neo downloaded himself into
Agent Smith. And then broke him from the inside. And then the CGI of him exploding looked like 1980s Ghostbusters bullshit.
It was weird.
It was bad. Bad's what you're looking for.
Here's my question.
You say it was bad.
The CGI wasn't bad. The whole
you
effect.
You just sat downstairs.
Yeah, that
3
was.
hours ago and talked shit about how bad the CGI looked in Justice League.
It did.
You say the CGI of him exploding was bad right fucking now.
I'm saying the whole effect, the whole thing, no matter how well they would have done the CGI, was just weird. The Crawley.
Bad.
So.
You ain't gonna say it, are you?
Him doing that, does he actually kill Agent Smith's program?
Well, I guess not. Or sequels.
Okay, so he doesn't kill Agent Smith's program, but it in effect, instead of a restart, it's a full shutdown. He has to be rebooted by something else. Takes him longer to get in.
Sure.
So
in the meantime,
the other 2 agents puss out and run.
In the meantime, these Sentinel ships are getting closer. They have now ripped open the ship everybody's on, and are like flying through the ship. So Morpheus hits him with the EMP at the exact second that Neo
gets out,
wakes up. And then they have true love's kiss again while he's awake, so it's not as rapey. And then Neo goes into this speech that is set over a Rage Against the Machine song.
Fuck yeah, it is.
It's a little on the nose, don't you think?
Hey, these things don't write themselves.
They could.
The Wachowskis did it.
I feel like it could.
Would you not have set it to Rage Against the Machine?
No, I wouldn't have.
Oh my god,
that's some real.
It's okay. Sometimes you don't want to do the obvious thing, but in this case, the obvious thing is the best choice.
And then, did Neo just take off fucking flying?
He did.
Can he fly now? Is he the Superman of the Matrix?
He gives his speech, and the call's being traced. You see the tracer program going, and he actually fucked the tracer. Like, it was like, program failed, whatever it says. And, I didn't write down what he said.
I didn't write down it either.
But he gives his little pep rally, and he takes off like
He's
Superman.
He's like, I'm coming for you, bitch.
Yeah. And that's pretty much the end of the movie. He's the superhero. But I feel like if you like these kind of like dystopian apocalyptic movies, and if you saw this at the right time, like this movie is for you. In your case, I don't even think you like apocalyptic movies.
Sure I do. Dude, like my entire childhood was based on nothing but sci-fi shit.
I know, but
like this should be my wheelhouse. Now, I will say, my life was based on sci-fi shit because of my dad.
Your dad does not like this movie.
He loves him some sci-fi. Everything is sci-fi. I called him today and was like, "Hey, Dad, what do you think about The Matrix?" And he was like, "It's a hot pile of garbage." He was like, "All it is a fighting movie disguised as a sci-fi movie that tries to be deep." And he ain't fucking wrong.
Could be.
Could be what? Wrong? Fuck you.
Could be wrong.
Bitch. But it's not like I don't like these movies and therefore I don't like this. I like sci-fi movies.
But what other apocalyptic movies do you like? Like Mad Max?
I didn't like the original Mad Max. I haven't seen the new one.
Book of Eli's kind of that.
I like Book of Eli.
Waterworld.
I don't remember. I know that I've seen it.
A lot of people hate on Waterworld, but I remember I was like, it's okay.
I think Dad liked Waterworld.
But I just kind of gravitate towards it. I don't know why. Usually if it's like that, I kind of like it.
Because your fucking smart ass is going to be alive during the fucking... So, I have another fun fact I couldn't work in anywhere. Said Keanu Reeves had cervical spine surgery just prior to the training period for this movie that forced him to wear a neck brace throughout the movie. This rendered it impossible for Reeves to kick effectively. So the stunt coordinator, Yun Woo Ping, I'm so sorry, I know I said that wrong, I apologize.
Is he Young whooping that ass?
Had to adjust his choreography accordingly. In the finished film, Neo hardly kicks at all, but I found this statement to be a bold-faced lie because in the subway scene, he fucking kicks everything.
Now,
There's
that one weird-ass kick in the subway machine where he's like, he does that thing and his leg's out and he does this weird, like, putting his leg back, and I was like, nobody does that.
Yeah.
Nobody does
I thought it was all weird. I said that the Wachowski siblings worked on their vision for this movie for 5.5 years before they ever made it. The final product arrived after working through 14 screenplay drafts and took up 500 storyboards. And it was still a hot piece of garbage.
I liked it. Could there have been fixtures in the plot holes? And could there have been certain things explained more or done better? Yeah. But I liked it.
So, there are 2 sequels currently, and The Matrix 4 was just unofficially announced with
for next February.
May 21st, 2021.
Oh, shit. I just looked at that last week.
Pushed it back. Now, originally, the thing I read a minute ago said it had a budget of $80 million. This says $63 million.
I saw like 150.
No. But it made $465.3 million at the box office.
Woo! Love that money.
Yeah, that's a fuck ton of money.
Yeah. This hot piece of garbage fucking worked.
Yeah.
I saw this movie completely across the country.
In Washington? So, 2 years, people imitated this movie forever, but I have a picture of 2 people that we went to school with that were in your class doing, the bullet time scene in Italy. So, 2 years later, I guess the
You
sequels,
have to think.
They were still fucking imitating this movie.
You have to think. The sequel didn't come out till 2001.
Oh, okay, well.
You have to think. In our day, you didn't have Thor or Avengers come out and 3 months later you could get it downloaded digitally.
Right.
You had to wait a year and a half to, if they sped it up, to get it. Right. And usually the ones that they sped up were the ones that failed in the theater, so they were hurrying to get them on DVD so people buy the DVD so they could recover their losses. If a movie was successful, they would stretch it out. So it probably, if you look up when did The Matrix release on DVD, it's probably close to, so you would have left later in the spring.
Yeah, it was April.
So it would have probably been the beginning of that semester or the end of the last semester that movie came out on DVD so people could rent or buy it.
Right.
So if you had people that saw the movie, it's like, this movie's awesome, when it comes out, I'm going to see it again.
Oh, yeah, there are definitely people that would have thought the movie was awesome.
Yeah. So, back in the day, you had to wait.
They're your people. All right. Do you want to take a stab at the...
Tomatometer?
And feel vindicated?
I have not gotten a view on this one. I'm going to say... Ooh, you said feel vindicated.
I did.
Oh, okay. So, I'm going to say 75 for the critics.
88.
Woo! Okay, then I'll say 85 for the audience.
85 is right.
Woo!
The critics' consensus is, thanks to the Wachowskis' imaginative vision, The Matrix is a smartly crafted combination of spectacular action and groundbreaking special effects. Which I will give it. The action was spectacular. The special effects were very groundbreaking for 1999. Nobody had ever seen that bullet time shit. Alright. Are you ready for Ratchet Reviews? Alright. I am going to start with the funniest one.
Alright.
Half a star. I would give it 5 stars, but a lot of characters in the movie wear latex, and I have an allergy.
Oh. That's rough.
That's hysterical.
So I don't know if they really liked it or they didn't like it.
I think they're just trying to be funny. I think it's funny. Half a star. I wish she took the blue pill so I could get my time back.
Man, that's rough.
Same, bro. Same.
If you took the blue pill, it wouldn't have been a movie.
Yeah, and we
it
would
have
have
been a weird ass short film, and everybody like, what the fuck was that for?
Yeah, that's fine.
Well,
So,
why go through all that just to go back to sleep?
This person gave it a half a star. Their name is Patrick. They wrote this review March 31st, 2019. As I was scrolling through reviews, I only screenshot this one. It is the longer version. About 2 weeks prior to this review, he left another review for this movie that is a shorter version. But I liked that 2 weeks later, he was like, that first Matrix review that I left for a movie that came out in 1999, it just wasn't toothy enough. It wasn't hard-hitting enough. I should probably write a fucking novel.
Here's my question.
And re-up it. He didn't even edit it. Like, you can edit it on this site. He wrote a whole new review.
I'm going to stop you there. If you... What was I saying? If you read a book and you're still thinking about it like a month after you finish it, it was a good book. No matter what you think like, if it makes you think about it that much, then it was good enough. So
I think things can be impactful without being good.
But if they're impactful, doesn't that inherently make them good?
No.
Why?
Things can be impactful in a bad way.
Yes, but if they're making you think, isn't it still a good thing?
No. Not if it's making you think negatively.
No, it's not making you think negatively. It's making you think about whatever happened.
Patrick's review.
Alright.
Goddamn philosophy major all of a sudden. Fucking 1 a.m. goddamn philosophy bullshit. Anyway, half a star for his longer version of his review. This film is deeply flawed, all caps. And people need to see that. You can still like it, but it is flawed. It ain't no masterpiece.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. Patrick just used ain't no in his review. It's not even the fact that it's a double negative. It's ain't no.
You're from West Virginia. I know you know people say ain't no.
Ain't none left.
Ain't no problem, dog. Anyway, it ain't no masterpiece. The acting, writing, and directing is dull, boring, and just plain silly. The action is dull, but that's personal preference. There is nothing interesting done with the cinematography. The color palette is super ugly, and the concept is cool and interesting.
Hold on, stop.
The concept isn't the problem. I'll stop when he reaches a period. The concept isn't the problem, it's the execution. And I see the Jesus Christ story, which is good, but it doesn't work. It's so in your...
If you don't stop, I'll forget.
He doesn't have any periods, so
exactly.
Go ahead. You tried to stop me originally at the color palette is super ugly.
That was there for a reason.
It was for a reason.
And
I would have noticed it without having been told.
Now, I noticed when they're in the Matrix, it was brighter. I did notice the green, but I didn't realize that it was green every time the Matrix. But I noticed in real life, it was darker, grittier. Go ahead.
The concept is cool and interesting. The concept isn't the problem, it's the execution. And I see the Jesus Christ story, which is good, but it doesn't work. You know, I didn't realize this motherfucker didn't have periods. Can I leave a review of his review?
No period, Patrick?
There are no periods. There are a fuck ton of commas. Like, they were giving commas away at the 99-cent store, but... Which, I see the Jesus Christ story, which is good, but it doesn't work. It's so in your face that it gets annoying. The Neo and Trinity have no love story whatsoever. Their love story makes no sense and it's really forced. I don't deny that this movie had a lot of influence on other films, but that doesn't make the film good. There is no subtlety in the film at all, and I feel that the film would have worked better if the hidden meaning of the film was subtle. Also, everything Lawrence Fishburne says is exposition, and now for the movie's deepest flaw, the character development.
What does he mean by exposition?
Explaining things. Like, Morpheus is there just to explain what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, he's the fucking leader. That's what he does. Also, if the story of Neo wasn't in there, there's no movie.
Well, let's take a pause for the cause here, because I'm never going to reach a period. And now for the movie's deepest flaw, the character development. Neo does not change at all. He is the same character at the end as he is at the beginning. And by the way, he has no character.
Alright, stop. Do you want some fake-ass motherfucker who's going to change his personality just overnight?
Well, not personality, but character growth. But I think he has character growth.
He does.
I mean, I don't like this movie at all, but he has character growth.
He progresses to... Instead of wanting answers, he's just kind of accepted the fact, and he gets to the point where he knows he was told he would have to make a choice to save somebody. He knows that person's in trouble, and he knows if he goes to save him, he's going to die.
Right, and he wasn't the one. Now he is the one.
He didn't want anything to do with any of that at first.
Right.
The dangerous part.
He has no character. He is just a boring protagonist. He has no personality, so why should I care what happens to him? In fact, most of the things he does are pretty laughable. Now onto the stuff I like. I like Cypher.
You piece of shit, Patrick. You no period having motherfucker. Oh my gosh.
I like the opening scene. I like the concept. I like Hugo Weaving. So yeah, I'd give it a 1 out of 10, maybe a 2 on a good day, even though he gave it a half a star. But look at this. This whole thing, it takes up, I have the fucking...
Is it a half a star out of 5?
Yeah, I have the fucking Samsung Galaxy 9 Plus. His review takes up my entire screen. There is not one period to be had.
To his credit, a half a star would be a 1.
Oh, because he gave it a 1 out of 10. You're right.
But this no period having motherfucking Patrick can fuck off with his likability of Cypher. Cypher's not likable at all.
No. Even before I knew he was going to fuck everybody over, I was like, this motherfucker's questionable.
The only redeeming fact he had was, hey, fucking don't be a hero. Run. You're gonna die.
Right. So this one, 1 star out of 5. And if you will look at the top of my paper, I wrote Jesus at the top and tried to keep track, but I only heard 1. So I only have 1 tally mark. But I'm a heathen. 1 star. So much blasphemy, so little time. 13 blasphemies. Not sure why Hollywood insists on blaspheming God, but it does Jesus. But it does. Jesus' name is the only one you ever hear used as a cuss word. Wonder why. So she's saying that they took the Lord's name in vain 13 times. I tried to listen. I got to 1. Now, I am a bit of a heathen, so I may have just not heard them. Like, I wasn't taken out of it by them saying it. But that's a weird review. Also for an R-rated movie.
Yeah, why do you want to see this R-rated movie, Kathy?
In the same lane, 1 star, profanity-laced debacle. The language is horribly offensive. I don't remember much language.
Okay.
I think it's rated R for, violence.
You can have a rated R movie that isn't profanity-laced. But who's like, okay, this movie's rated R, I'm gonna go watch it, but then I'm gonna fucking complain about it because it wasn't what I liked. Like, have all of us watched a movie that we thought was a piece of shit? Yes, at some point you have. At some point you were like, I'm going to go watch this movie. It looks kind of cool. Or you tagged along with somebody else who wanted to watch a movie. You're like, all right, I'll go see it. And you're like, fuck, that was just god awful. But the fact that it was even made, it's somebody's cup of tea.
I took our nephew to see Crawl this summer. Congratulations on having to work and get out of that. First of all, Crawl was rated R. He's 11 years old. Fucking sue me. He's seen worse. So we go in the middle of the day. There's a bunch of fucking Karens there loudly talking about how I shouldn't have taken my child to the movie.
Young Karens.
They were young. They were like 20, 25.
Range on the side.
Talking shit about how I shouldn't have took my kid to the movie. He was not the youngest kid there. There was a little girl there that I'm assuming he will meet later in life and they will marry and have like reptile babies. Because they were both super fucking into crocodiles and alligators and lizards and snakes and shit. It was the longest 2 hours of my life. I did not enjoy it at all. He was like edge of his seat, geeked out, excited. And this is a little motherfucker that doesn't stay awake through a movie. Any movie, whether you take him to the theater or he watches it here. He was so excited. So the movie gets done, and I'm like, hey, bud, what'd you think of that movie? And I thought he would be like, oh, it wasn't as good as I thought, or blah, blah, blah. He was like, it was so great. It was the best movie ever. Can we go see it again right now? And I was like, no. It was so bad.
But did you feel the need to go, like, write a Yelp review and shit all over it?
No, but I looked at other reviews and people were like, movie of the summer, best movie ever. And I was like, I don't know that we watched the same movie.
Were those paid reviews?
No. Anyway, this is my last Ratchet review, and I kind of agree with this one mostly. 1 star. The kiss at the end made it go from a 5 to a 1. It had a lot of plot holes. It had a lot of problems. I would have gave it like a 3.
Like, I don't know why she just didn't punch him in the chest, like, angrily and, like, confess her love. And as she punched him or hammer fisted him in the chest, that would have actually worked. Like,
yeah, that's something people
believable.
Do. You take your knuckles and you rub it down their spine and then you hammer fist it. Yeah, that would have worked out. But no. Like, I would have given it a 3 until fucking Walt Disney took over and True Love kissed him back to fucking health. And I was just like, what the fuck? It made me so angry, I almost threw my notebook in the floor. It made me irrationally fucking mad that she just fucking True Love kissed him back to life.
But it could have been in a case where he wasn't fully flatlined. Enough stimulation to get him back into some kind of rhythm.
I remember that when you're on your deathbed. The doctors will be like, do you want me to zap him? And I'm like, I got this.
No, you fucking
If I have learned anything, it is that I can kiss him and he will come back to life because it will send enough blood flow that he will wake back up. I can't believe you're going to try to explain away the Disney kiss. I'm waiting for... I don't think I've ever seen part 2 or 3. Does he throw himself across the rock and cry like a Disney princess in one of them?
No.
Are you sure? Will
Not
that 100%. Be in 4?
Not 100%, but we can find
Not 100. We cannot find out.
Yeah.
No, they're out of our constructs here, so...
We can watch it.
I'm not going to watch it for nothing.
We can watch it and give a follow-up.
Oh.
No notes, just off the top.
Anyway.
So you would give it less than a 3?
I'm going to give it a 1.
A 1?
I'm with that man. I would have given it a 3 until True Love's kiss made me so angry. I was so mad last night watching it. I literally just wanted to clear the table. It made me mad. I'll give it a 2.
That's some shameful shit.
It's not shameful.
I like the movie.
I can accept it for what it was. It ushered in some new cinematic techniques. It was the first to do bullet time. It was very important to the time. And now it can go fuck itself.
I give it a 4. It's not perfect.
No, it is not.
But I thought it was a good movie. There's a positive message through most of it.
I will say that it makes you think.
It makes you think about things. There's a positive message through most of it.
It could have been done so much better.
Could it though?
Yes.
At the time.
Yes.
You want to call up the Wachowskis and be like, "Hey, bitch."
Yes.
I got some rewrites for you. You need to call everybody back.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I thought it was shit.
I thought it was shit. There you go, folks. We have an honest review. I thought it was shit.
I thought it was a good movie. I liked it. Had a positive message through most of it.
What's the positive message? When we die, we'll be baby food?
No, you can want to question things. Don't just go blindly into the light. Like,
I would have said into that good night, but okay.
Whatever. What's that from? Not to blindly follow things or just to question things. Even if you, and I think this is where a lot of people get hung up, like Miss Blasphemy probably. Was she correct about her? Like, if they said Jesus that many times, yes, in her belief system, that you shouldn't do that. But she also seems like the kind of person who would be like, why? We wouldn't say, like, why do we do this? They just do it. And I feel like the people who don't ask questions get everybody else in trouble. Because you're like, hey, we can't, this says you're supposed to kill people for this. You can't do that. Like, I think just because you question something doesn't mean you don't believe it.
It's kind of like the story about, like, this lady goes to make her Thanksgiving turkey, and she cuts, like, the left leg off the turkey and puts it in the pan, makes the turkey, throws the left leg away. And somebody's like, hey, why do you do that? And she's like, oh, I don't know, my mother did it. And they ask her moms, like, hey, why do you cut the left leg off your turkey and throw it away? Like, why don't you cook it? It was like, oh, well, my mother did it. And they find the grandma and they ask her, hey, why did you cut the left leg off your turkey? Like, what's the deal? And she's like, oh, my pan was too small. Like, generations never questioned, hey, why do we do this? It's stupid. We don't need to do it. But we're doing it because that's the way we've seen it done, and nobody ever stopped to ask a question or
to just blindly follow something, or even if it's your job and your orders are to do something.
Well, that's just how you get Nazis.
You should follow your orders to a certain extent. Then you got to be like, oh, if I do this, like, this is the shit that's going to follow.
But right, like,
this is the shit we're trying to avoid. Why are you doing this all of a sudden?
Like, that's what all the Nazis said after the war. Were like, we were just following orders.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but your orders were pretty fucked, dude. Like,
that's just an excuse. Like, why'd you do this? The person before me did it. Well, so you gave it a 2.
I'll give it a 2.
I gave it a 4.
I'd have gave it a 3 till
out of
the
5.
fucking kiss. Fucking dumbass bullshit.
I like the movie. I think everybody should watch it. Even though you made it a bad movie, would you recommend it?
No!
You wouldn't recommend anybody.
No. It was also long. Like I said, like, I made you pause it, and there was still 44 minutes left, and I was like, God damn it. It's weird because a lot happens. It's not like it's necessarily slow, but it seems so long.
Not really. It has a good pace. There's no part of the movie where you're like, get the fuck on with it.
Yeah, except for where I was like, can you pause it? Because I don't even know how much fucking left in this shit.
No, but you weren't like, get on with it. There was shit happening.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So speaking of questioning things, next week we're going to do Dogma.
Ooh. A lot of people had problems when that movie first came out, but I feel like those people with problems didn't watch the movie.
Right. No, not at all.
Because I think Dogma's another one of those ones where, regardless of what you believe, you can, at the end of it, you can say, you know what? I should think about this.
All right. Save it for next week.
All right. That's been Run It Back for The Matrix. I'm Jason.
I'm Sarah. You can follow us on our social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Run It Back Pod. On Twitter at Pod Run It Back. Like us, subscribe to us, recommend us, share us with your friends. And if you hate us, fuck it, share us with your enemies. We'll all win.
I guess. Don't think you are. Know you are.